Hello, my name is Sérgio Feitosa Costa, and in video I will present an introduction to one article to present a suggestion to the subcommittee 32A of IEC, International Electrotechnical Commission, for the next revision of IEC 6282-2 High Voltage Expulsion Type Fuse. We try to present these suggestions in the form of a table, like it is used in IEC meetings, and also with the complete text of a new Annex G about a new concept that we propose to use on IEC 6282-2. Expulsion type fuses are used in many parts of the world, and especially in developing countries where aesthetics and things like this are not in the top of the priorities. For example, like Brazil, we can see they used even in regions of big circulation of persons and near windows, for example. I had 2 times this situation in my life, and I had to ask to the power utility to remove that fuse from there. Because I worked during 25 years in testing laboratories, doing high power tests, in fuses, breaking tests, and I know what happens if a fuse failure near a window. In a distance of 3 meters, we can have considerable influence of the sparks that come from the fuse. But IEC 6282-2 is a very well-written standard and cover the mechanical and electrical aspects of expulsion fuses. I'm co-author of the revision of IEC 6282-2 issued in 1989. I'm also co-author of the IEC 62271-307. By the end of the 80s, I was the chairman of IEC Technical Committee 32 for fuses. At that time, I had the honor to convene the revision IEC 6282-2 for expulsion and IEC 6227-100 for circuit breakers. They are very similar in the aspects of braking tests, temperature rise tests, and some others, like dielectric tests, for example. The main change that we propose is the use of the concept of extension of the validity of type test reports, which is recent and presented in IEC 6227-307. I participated in the preparation of these standards, and I know very well. I worked in testing labs, and I could see the difficulties that manufacturers have with test repetitions, unnecessary test repetitions, because a client asked for something that actually was already done in a previous equipment quite similar to that. And this is the aim of this new IEC 62271-307, is to avoid test repetitions where the common sense shows that they could be avoided. In the article, we show then a complete set of suggestions and also red tests to serve as a base for the new Annex G. In my view, IEC documents could do more to help to reduce the waste of resources in materials in the electric industries. However, we are still doing things, in my point of view, we are still doing things in the same way we did in the past, taking into account only engineering aspects and forgetting that the world changed and there are things that we can do to use less copper, less aluminum, less insulating materials, and less work to ask and less and least resources to do, for example, tests. We have nowadays fantastic possibilities of replacing some tests by the use of testing simulations, but we are still doing everything in a test lab. This is a very big barrier for small and medium manufacturers, especially in developing countries. We need to consider in IC standards that the focus is not only on the developed countries, which have very good services. The extension of the validity of the type tests in expulsion fuels can be done using the concepts of the IC 62271-307, which have the objective of avoid unnecessary repetition of tests, extending the validity of type test reports. That is, you test one equipment, which is a kind of head of a family. In the test reports, you register everything which is necessary to characterize very well the design parameters, the dimensions, the currents, the resistance of as seen from the terminals, everything that is necessary to demonstrate what was really tested. We put everything in the reports, and we use these test reports to avoid the tests, for example, in equipment that suffered small modification, to avoid tests in equipment with another values of short circuit currents or nominal currents during temperature rise tests. And this can be done using the rules which are in this IC 62271-307 standard. Can be done. What we did in this suggestion was to apply the same concept with some minor modifications for the case of expulsion fuel, to demonstrate that a certain type of fuse link, which is used in a certain fuse base and a fuse carrier, can be used in other fuse bases and fuse carriers of other manufacturers, and vice versa. And just to serve as an example, I show here one table of the extension of the validity for one of the type tests, which is in this case the braking test. We have a table for each one of the types of tests in the standards, as dielectric tests, temperature rise tests, mechanical tests, and so on. You see here in this table that the design parameters are listed, and for these design parameters there are acceptance criteria to compare the equipment which was not tested with the equipment that was tested and approved before. We have also in the new Annex G some kind of guidelines for the use of calculations and test simulations for extending the validity of the test reports in cases where the tables alone are not conclusive, or in cases where we have some kind of doubts. Then there is a clear way to use these testing calculations and simulations. And here in this table I show some typical values of tolerances. Let's say the difference between values that can obtained in tests and test values that are obtained in the testing simulations. If you can demonstrate that a certain method of calculation or simulation is good, give a small difference of results, why not to use to clarify doubts? For example, you do tests in one equipment that presents one certain temperature rise in certain parts, and you can simulate this very well with a very small error. Then you do a modification in one fuse link or in one conductor, one small modification, and you do the same simulation for this other equipment. Why not believe that the result will be acceptable? It would occur in a real test. We define here certain values of tolerance for do this. And last but not least, we have here one typical figure about the design parameters that shall be registered in the test reports to enable such comparisons. One of the main problems that we have today is that the testing laboratories, when prepare their testing reports based on the IC standards, they limit themselves only to the values that are clearly specified there to resistor. And many of these values, and many times these values are not sufficient to identify and to do a comparison with the other non-test equipment to enable the use, extension of the validity of test reports. We need to do test reports that includes the information that is prescribed in these design parameters tables. And that is it. I thank you very much for your attention. The link for the article is above. I'm also writing to IC in the hope that somebody there will read and eventually use these suggestions. And independent of this, I assure you that this is a good path to follow. Thank you very much for your attention.